Hey guys, just got some books back from PSA today. Let's check them out. Hi, Will of Fat Dad Comics here, and I just got back some books from PSA. I just sent over 8 books. Just to preface it, I know the grades. I'm impatient, so I checked all that stuff out. It was a long process, actually. It took a really long time. But I have them over here in this box, and I'm gonna slice it open right now with this bad boy. I'm gonna just real quick. This is for just 8 books. Not sure if you guys ever seen a PSA unboxing. I watched a couple of them. So they have like a layer of this paper. They have my order details over here. So cool thing here, they have like this little like foam thing notched for the slabs. There's paper, that same paper I pulled up, it's like in between each slab. Okay. So I decided like I was gonna do with PSA, since they had like a little discount thing. I wanted to see kind of like what the slabs were gonna be like. Growing up, my favorite comic books were Spider-Man. So like when I was a kid and I was actually collecting, buying comic books from the corner store or whatever, I started with the Spider-Man series. You know, the Todd McFarlane series, and then Eric Larson would started to do the pencils and stuff, and that was my favorite. So, and there was this particular arc in the Spider-Man run, and that was the Revenge of the Sinister Six. So, again, if you haven't seen any of these unboxings, this is like a thicker plastic that they have for these like plastic sleeves. And then they have like this film that goes around it. Thing I noticed first is that it is heavier, as I've read about. It's like a thicker thing. So I got this slab stand from Red Wolf's slab stands. This first time I'm gonna try it. I'm digging this label. A lot of people hated it. I'm kind of into it. So anyway, Spider-Man number 18. It's part 1 of 6 in Revenge of the Sinister Six. This is actually my favorite cover in that run. I'm gonna throw it in here, and it fits. Boom. So there you go. I got it at a 9.8. Uh, I think that's beautiful. The slab is really nice. It's really thick compared to, if you compare it to like a CGC slab, super thick. And 9.8. I mean, this is super modern. This is 1992 January. So remove this slab, little film. I knew the grades, but I'll reveal it to you anyway. So this is Spider-Man number 19 in that Revenge of the Sinister Six series, and I got this at a 9.8. And this is also beautiful. Like Eric Larson's work is amazing. Um, yeah, I totally expected to get 9.8s on this, and I submitted 1 through 6, and I expected to get 9.8s on this. I like this. I actually really like this. It's pretty cool. All right, well, there you go. I'm going to try to go through this as quick as possible, only because there's something else I wanted to talk about with this whole PSA thing. And just so you know, I did their pressing services I added to it. just so I could have like a nice press on it. And I kind of wanted to see what their pressing would look like. And so far, these books look really good. So this is number 20. And this one is part 3. And that's a 9.8, which is great. I mean, it's a modern book from 1992. I like the way this thing fits inside of here. This is really nice. I'm actually pretty impressed with this. I'm a fan so far. Again, I already knew the grades because I'm super impatient and I was gonna try to um hold off on the grade so we could all be so I could fuck that. I'm not feigning joy and all that nonsense that I know a lot of people do. It's unless you're really busy, and if you're on top of your stuff, you're gonna see grades. Let's be real. So anyway, you guys already saw the grade, and I did like this whole spiel. 9.6. This is number 21, right? Yeah, number 21. I got it a 9.6, and I did get graders notes. I'll throw them up here on the screen somewhere so you could see the graders notes and you could see what they said. Mainly was this little corner crunch here. 9.6. Unhappy. It's kind of like defeated the purpose. I was kind of certain I was going to get 9.8s all across the board on these. Also from 1992. And this was like pretty cool one with like Deathlock was like huge when I was growing up. He had like his own series and all that stuff. These I actually bought. These books I bought again as a grown ass man dog because I didn't even know what happened to my original. They were all newsstands. They were all newsstands, but this one is part 5 of 6, number 22 here. But what's cool, I went to this little shop, thrift shop, and they have a bunch of like dollar bin comic books. Yeah, he has good stuff. It's a newsstand. There were like 2 in a bag together. 9.8 in a newsstand. I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, 1998. I wish it was like a super key. It's a beautiful cover. Or I wish he had 1 through 6 in newsstands. That would have been dope. But he didn't. But yeah, this was like actually one of the coolest things out of this like little run or whatever. But like I thought if I wasn't gonna like it, it was like their promotional price. I did get it pressed, so I did spend a little more. I think it was like 18 or 20 bucks for the pressing. But this was a really nice surprise, and Larson crushing it as usual. But yeah, newsstand, pretty cool. So this is number 23. My favorite number. W is the 23rd letter in the alphabet. You want to look at all that crapolas? I just want to take all this stuff off. It looks really nice, presents really well. It's a beautiful modern comic book. Okay, I mean, again, and this, what's nice about this one? It's the wraparound. So it's a really cool cover. I love this artwork. Again, like no significance in as far as like value is concerned, but value to me, this is where I started comic books. So all the value is in that. 9.8. So that was cool. I got the 9.6 Deathlock. Will I consider getting another copy or getting something like to have them all 9.8s across the board? No. It is what it is. It wasn't worth slabbing it but I'm not looking to resell these things. This is for me to have. I just wish that like on this row of, well, it's a row of 5 anyway, so I guess that one's not making it. But it would be nice, like to see the Revenge of the Sinister Six at all 9.8s across the board. They're modern comic books. They should have been. Didn't work out that way. It's whatever. There's that one. Okay, so now, and then I got one key here, but it was literally came out same year. This was in April of 1992. So I got 2 keys, but they weren't all from 1992. This is the only one of them was not from 1992. But you know what? It did have the same kind of like I was like as a grown man started collecting, like not taking my parents' uh change from the corner store and buy myself comic books. So I got myself a little scuff there. I don't like all of that. Amazing Spider-Man number 361. Got it there in a 9.0. I got this way. If I tell you what I spent back then, this was Comic Boom. Got my own copy. It was a newsstand, so you know I paid even more of a premium price. Came back as a 9.0. And I look at this thing and I want to convince myself that I could probably get a higher grade, but I'm like, nah, it's what it is, kid. Learning experience. Old man here, by the way. So I got this one and I saw it was like really nice and it was like a billion times cheaper for this copy. I think I paid like $65 for it off of eBay. And I looked at it and I was like, this is 9.8 candidate. Let me see if I can press it. And I did get grader's notes, but got a 9.8, PSA 9.8. So that's pretty cool. This is a 9.8 for first appearance of Carnage in a PSA 9.8. Really dope. And check it out here. There are some grader notes. All the 9.8s besides this one had no notes. This one had some notes on it. And here it is. Okay. But I guess it was negligible enough where they let me get away with the 9.8. Or they felt really bad about the next book. And I'm almost positive, and I don't want to speak ill quite yet, but next book, and you'll see why I'm saying that. But, you know, yeah, this looks damn good. This is the last one. And man, I'm kind of PO'd still about this because I couldn't help it. I said I was gonna check. I was trying to tell myself don't check the grades so you could be. I'm glad I did because I probably would have threw this thing. Um, there's scuffing on this, by the way, and you could see over here. Anyway, I'm sorry. This is what actually wanted to see this thing in person because this thing drove me up the wall. All right, so I started collecting again. I saw this. I saw this in a shop, and I was like, not this copy, but I saw this series in a shop, and I was like, oh man, like this, what is this? And somebody was explaining, it's like, oh, it's like a reboot of Spider-Man or whatever. And I fell in love with it, as did everyone at the time. Like this was in 2000, so like Amazing Spider-Man wasn't doing well. You know, comic books weren't doing well. This was that first 90s boom, whatever, that burst, and it was Amazing Spider-Man wasn't what he was, and this kind of gave it like this nice shot, like this fresh look at Spider-Man, a more modern look at Spider-Man. And I was in love with this series. I actually have the entire series collected in one short box, 130 some odd issues. I think it's like 134 or something like that. Don't remember, maybe 131. I have the whole run, and I didn't get this slab. I thought it was a 9.8, but I didn't get it slab because I didn't want to leave the rest of the books on their lonesome, as silly as that sounds. So then I saw on a eBay listing one that was like bidding for quite like pretty low, and it looked good. Definitely not a 9.8, maybe a 9.2, 9.4 ish. And I was like, I thought about this whole PSA thing. I wanted to try my hand at it, and I got that copy for like $70 or something like that. It's pretty. I don't even remember to be honest. Maybe I'll throw it on the screen here, and you'll see how much I paid for it. I got it recently, and I decided I was going to get this graded. I'll talk about like the whole PSA grading process and all that stuff. But anyway, so got it in a 9.6, and then so what I was going to say was PSA screwed up my book, and that's why I got the 9.6. And so here are the grader's notes, so you could see. right here. Um, I thought when they said in the middle there's like a scratch which breaks color, and that's the thing that gave it the 9.6 in the middle of the cover, or it's in the middle section of the front cover. I thought it was this here. But now that I got it in my hands, that's a scuff mark. Pretty bad one, actually. I don't know what's up with that. All right, so that's it. This is the submission here. Ultimate Spider-Man. That was the last one. And a 9.6. Wish I would have got the 9.8. It would have been great. I got two 9.6s in this submission. It's similar to CGC's submission process. Um, it's harder to find. I think though, as time passes, they're gonna update their directory, I guess, of comic books, or like whatever they have there. Like I had to manually put that one in. The Ultimate Spider-Man #1 2000, and I actually filled in the CGC's submission form, and all these books came up right. They were easier to find. So it was kind of tough to find, even though those, the Spider-Man's 18 through 23, and like I had to really search through it. CGC's was a little better, but I think with time that'll change. It looks like they're tweaking things as they go along. That's what I've been seeing this whole time, like the labels and all that stuff. I like personally, I like the label. I really do. Um, their case is definitely like it's bulletproof. So I really like that aspect of it. Would I continue to grade with PSA? First of all, I just want to say this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time or a lot of money grading stuff. There are a couple of things that I sent out two books, I think, for Todd McFarlane's private signature. I mean, he's getting up there in age. Why not? And then I did send two. There's a local comic shop that's doing a signing with Chris Claremont. So I have literally two books that I'm going to have cracked, clean and pressed by the comic shop. This is Royal Collectibles. They're like probably one of the best comic shops on the East Coast and in the country. Great comic shop. They're gonna clean press them. They're gonna have the CGC witness there for the Chris Claremont signing at their shop. They're gonna submit it for CGC, and they'll give me a call, and I'll see how that does. And this is all for my personal collection. Like I said, the Spider-Man's 18 through 23, Revenge of the Sinister Six, my favorite, Eric Larson and Mark Bagley. So you see, it's like there's a theme here. It's Bagley, Larson, 1992. When I guess that's when I got into comic books, 1992. You know, just did that for that reason. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And as I like to say at the end of all my videos, stay tuned and keep collecting.